Live from the Mainstream Cannabis Media Empire, I'm Travis Lippert, CEO of Veedverks Unlimited Limited, better known as Veedverks.
And I'm Michael Miller, International Marketing Director for PanaceaLife.com.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yay. Happy New Year. I tell you what, I usually say how gorgeous it is every show, but I still have to say I love it out there. It's gorgeous. I woke up this morning, it was -2. It feels like -17 and snow on the ground. The mountains are gorgeous. They're just covered in snow.
Yeah, my car is useless in the snow. I have a rear-wheel drive car. I ran last year's winter tires all summer, and now they're on again. And I've got hills on the way to the house.
Yeah,
and yesterday I was also almost out of gas. And so it was a real
to top it off.
It was a real challenge to get home. So this morning I threw a couple bags of kitty litter in the trunk and then filled it up with gas, but it was still very difficult to get around. It's not I need a 4-wheel drive. That could be a New Year's resolution. We'll talk about resolutions.
The kitty litter, is that in case you get stuck?
Yeah, it's added weight over the rear tires, and then if I get stuck, then I can use it to...
I had 3, the first time I moved here, I had 3 bags of kitty litter in my car. Yeah. And it saved my ass so many times. It really does work.
Yeah, it's very helpful.
I had a rear-wheel drive last time I was here, and I'm telling you what, there were some times where I would be almost crying going down the highway thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Just slipping everywhere. You know, it gets really bad out there. Now I got a front wheel drive, but I can relate for sure.
So today on the show, we're going to have Zev Barnett from Maven Hemp.
Yes.
And,
good friend.
We both know Zev. This is one of those occasions where we both know the guy who we're talking to.
And you still allowed him on the show. I don't believe that.
Well, you snuck it in the last
second.
I did.
I did sneak it in. We agreed, late last night, right, Zev?
Right. That's right.
And it looks like we'll then after we've got Zev, then we're going to have Bryn Gohn, winged sprint car, like dirt track race car driver. Yeah. And I was thinking him this morning on the way in because I was counter steering. I was, to turn left. Most of the time, my steering wheel was to the right as I fishtailed around the corner.
Travis, I can help you. I do. I've done performance winter driving lessons in my alternate career.
I want to do that.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
Yeah, because I race cars on the side.
Yeah, he's got a fleet. What do you got? Like 4 or 5 cars? Well, 2 racers, kind of.
Quiet, Florida boy.
We don't want everyone to know your Ferraris and Testarossas and Lamborghinis that you have.
No. None of that. I'm proud to say I have a Miata, and that's a real driver's car and a real track car.
You know what? I have mad respect for you because he loves his Miata. I think they're nice.
I think there are many people who love their Miatas.
Well, a lot of people. No, I'm joking. It's a great car. What?
Yeah, well, you guys are funny. It was slippery out yesterday. I'm in my Audi with 4-wheel drive with new snow tires, and I was sliding around in the grocery store parking lot yesterday.
Yeah.
So it was definitely icy. It's icy, but it's gorgeous out. Sun's outside. It will warm up, and all the Texas, California, and Florida drivers will hopefully stay home until the roads are completely dry.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm a Floridian anymore.
You've got a Florida plate, though.
I guess I am.
People look at you and they hate you when they see that.
Yeah, they do, especially when I'm going the speed limit with snow everywhere.
What's this old guy doing in the States?
Go back to South Florida.
You guys gotta go home.
Back in the BioTrack days, we used to get hung up all the time. They would say, "Are you the company in South Florida?" We would say, "Yeah." Boom. It was a bitch starting that company back in the day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But that did change, which is fantastic. That's for sure. So, what can you tell us? About when, you and I, we've known each other for quite a while now. We never discussed it. What did you do before hemp and CBD, and how and why did you get into it?
So I worked in finance for a long time. I was a trader, actually. I started out on the East Coast and became a retail broker originally, and then realized that the trading environment was much more interesting while I was watching futures and commodities and equities trade. And I ended up knocking on doors on Wall Street back in the day, early 90s, and ended up on a trading desk, a proper trading desk. And so I went through the 90s and into the early 2000s, all that crazy IPO action, which is reminiscent of what's happening somewhat in this industry, the fervor and excitement that's happening with hemp. And after 9/11, I ended up deciding that I was going to leave the New York City area because it was a sad and kind of awful time there. And some changes happened in Congress, which changed trading algorithms. And I decided to, partially out of not knowing what else to do, I decided to open up my own company, take the entrepreneurial route, because I had a specific skill set that was hard to place. I wasn't.
We lost him.
Uh-oh.
Zev, your audio.
There we go. We're back.
Yeah, well, that's because my boss called. The pretty one that I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah. The better half.
Yeah, the better half called. Anyway, I started up a import-export business for hot rod parts, actually for German turbo cars. So I actually have a Audi that I built into a hot rod, and I started a company called Avalon Motorsports, and that was my first big entrepreneurial foray. And I started bringing in parts from Europe for M3s, Porsche turbos, Audi turbos, things like that, and souping up the German cars that were here in the States. And then ultimately I sold that company, went back into finance for a little while, and realized that there was no risk in the big financial firms anymore. They're not allowing any risk. And for an entrepreneurial person, I felt like I was in a cage. I was working for a big name mutual fund company, and it just rocked my world. Honestly, I was like, this is not at all the direction I want to be in. And I ended up jumping into a company called Pure Hemp Botanicals, and I was brought in as like national sales director, and I started to remake the marketing there. And then unfortunately I had an accident after my first year there, got really hurt, and left the company. I was really honestly laid out on my couch for about 3 months. And then I went through almost 200 different appointments between 2017 and 2018 with physical therapy, chiropractor, neurologists, orthopedists, another back specialist, and all different kind of scans. And what happened during that time is that my belief in CBD and the hemp plant, more not just CBD, but the plant itself, was fortified, because up until that time I had dabbled with it as a alternative to Advil, for instance, for ibuprofen, which I took a lot. I was a triathlete in the mid 2000s. I stopped around 2010, and I used to take Advil like M&Ms, because I was training 6 days a week, and I was still cycling, road cycling, mountain biking, and swimming the last couple of years before I got hurt, and I started substituting them. And then I realized after the accident that I did not want to take the opioids that were prescribed to me, which I believe they gave me 7 after the first accident. And I didn't take them except for one, which they promised would help with the headache from the concussion. And eventually, after a couple of weeks, I stopped taking it and I switched to CBD. So I've got kind of my go-tos are a high strength lotion. I've got stuff sitting here. I've got one of my friends cooks up for me. It's a 500 milligram cream. I've got actually your cream as well, Travis, which entered later, but I love that as well. And then I've got a roll-on with essential oil from my friend at In Season Beauty, my friend Stephanie. It's 11 essential oils plus CBD, and I put it on my temples and my neck, and it actually helps. Like I woke up last night. Unfortunately, I was in another accident on December 1st, a month ago. Someone else rear-ended me. Well, actually, I know it's Michael. It's hilarious.
I can laugh because we're buddies. I'm sorry.
I've been racing. I'm racing
and leaning at the same time.
I race.
You gotta be like
I
the
race
rock
on
singer,
a
like, go
team.
away when you yell.
Yeah.
You know,
Sorry.
from like 99 till 2016, I've been racing on all different tracks, and I'm racing wheel to wheel, 3 or 4 cars going into a turn at one time, and I've never got a scratch. But driving around Arapahoe County, I've been nailed. Well, no, actually, I got hit up on 225 and 70. Someone smacked right into my back, so I got whiplash again. So before that, I was racing cars, and now I'm limited. But I have CBD that I use, and that's helping me to get my mobility back. Because I've got back pain and neck pain and a headache actually. So the CBD takes the edge off, and then I'm experimenting with THC at night to try to sleep better, because usually I'm pretty stiff when I wake up, for sure. And sometimes I'm rolling around. So not that way, Travis.
Look, it's January 1st, July. Listen to me.
My lower back.
A lot of us are. I won't even go there. It's all good.
All I did was smile.
Yeah, that's it.
All I did was smile.
Dirty mind. So did it help the stiffness?
Did it help you with your morning stiffness?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that when you apply it?
Do I have it here? Hold on one second.
Oh, it's so funny.
One thing that we have, Panacea just came out with, we're not selling it yet, but 3 different variations of heat lotion. It's unbelievable.
Stop.
We should talk
This is
about
one of our customers makes this.
Well,
we've had her on the show.
Yeah, Kadisha.
Kadisha
was representing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's so funny.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, so CBD is a good thing, and so anyway, I got hurt last year, beginning of 2017. I went off to Israel to Canatech. I forged a partnership with those guys because I wanted to be involved in the science, and the business took off last spring. I was still hurt, but business took off. Opened an office in 2018, and it's going strong ever since. So we're working internationally, and it's exciting. It's really exciting to see what's happening. And I know Michael, you asked about the Farm Bill. I feel like I'm waiting very patiently to see what the Farm Bill does. Like, for instance, helping us get some more bank accounts open, right?
Yeah.
And I know credit card processing. The first thing that I've seen that's important is that credit card processors are opening at non-usurious rates. In other words,
as low as $2.99.
I've seen lower than that actually.
Oh wow,
I've
nice.
seen lower. So cool. Instead of 4, 6, 7, 9%, which has been the last couple of years, right? So that's a good thing. But I'm hoping that some of the bigger banks will take that lead and open to handling our accounts, because I'm tired of dodging the bankers. As far as other things, we just keep getting more. I don't know if it's the Farm Bill or just the growth of the industry. We get constant inquiries from product makers. I just talked to someone who wants to make coffee, and we already have 2 other clients who are making CBD coffee. So it's things like that, the indicators that this is going to go big. And I know that it's just a matter of time before one of the major beverage companies like InBev or Coors Brewing pops out a beverage across the country. I think that's going to happen. I don't know what you guys think, but I know there's lots of people dabbling in that. But I think one of the some of them have already started making packaging, and it's going to happen. Travis, how's the tech working?
He's steady working on it. It sounds better now.
Yeah, we had an echo in our headphone.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we're flying in that blimp.
now.
We're not in the blimp. We're just we could be on top of the blimp right now.
Yeah.
That's something I'd like to do this next year, is really
ride the top
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Ride the top of the blimp.
Why not? So FDA, what do you think their involvement will be?
I don't know, Michael. That's a tough question.
Uh-huh.
I would say that for me personally, with product development, which is what we spend a lot of our time with, we have a couple different customers that are already have FDA approved technology or devices, right? Like we have somebody with a nebulizer that's already approved and gone through trials and things. And I think we're going to confer with all of these different scientists and owners and see what their, collective judgment is, because I don't think any of them, none of them are stopping. They're all moving forward. I think that edibles obviously is the thing that's highlighted the most. I wonder how that will affect us, because obviously that touches vape business, that touches the soft gel business, which is the original thing that we started with. It's a very big business for us here and in Europe specifically. I don't know yet.
Good answer.
I spoke to a broker last night who's putting clients into GW Pharma stock, and she was telling me, she was actually soliciting me. She's a friend. She was soliciting me a few months ago to speak to business owners in this space, but she acknowledged that as a licensed securities broker, she wasn't allowed to actually take their money, an open account. She was allowed to invest in the space, but not invest for our kind, right? Which is so hypocritical. It's just ridiculous. The fact is that the cannabis industry is now leaning towards the public markets, right? I don't agree that it's the right time, but there are people pushing very hard to go public now.
Sure.
And I have experience. That's my experience in the 90s when or actually not the 90s, the 2000s, late 90s. There was IPO fever. It was absolutely nuts. I'm sure you remember it.
Sure.
Stocks. I mean, the company I was at, the stock went from $7 to $165. $7 to $165.
Are you talking about the internet boom time?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Well,
everything was IPO'd. Everything.
Yeah. KTEL.
Yeah.
Steve Madden.
Yeah.
All the
Wall Street,
internet
Madden.
companies. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, I knew. Actually, Travis, I traded against those guys.
Did you really? Against
Jordan
Belfort, or what is that guy's name?
Yeah, that's his name. I didn't know him, but of course we knew that firm. I also knew Madoff. Madoff was their tickers were on our machine.
Wow.
I was trading against those crazies.
But you put all of your guests into Enron back then, right? All of your clients.
No, Michael. Actually, I almost went there for an interview.
Did you really? Do you remember Enron?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They were the big mean trading machine. They were the envy of everybody at the time.
God, they ruined a lot of lives.
Oh yeah. So luckily I stayed. I was at a fantastic firm called Knight Capital. And Knight was a phenom by itself on Wall Street. So I guess my bigger point about that is that I'm a little scared for all these people that are running into reverse mergers right now with these companies, because that's not necessarily where the smart money goes. The smart money is up in Canada right now, probably. And there's the licenses that people are buying in Florida and Massachusetts, that sort of business.
Sure.
Because they're taking the long view with those investments. Not looking to just pop a company public and take their money and run. Yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned Florida. It's kind of similar to like the pharmaceutical play, where you've got 10 growers. They can have each 25 dispensaries or what have you. I think they added 10 more, maybe. But someone just paid over upwards of $100 million for a license. All that takes is a new governor to come in and open it up to everyone. And that was the worst investment that group ever made.
Yeah.
Because they will eventually open it up. So I'd stay away from Florida personally, myself.
I just do that by default. I stay away from Florida.
It's got gorgeous beaches.
I get enough Florida from YouTube videos. Every firework accident that involved just
a lot of crazies in Florida.
A lot of crazy people in Florida.
There sure is.
But, well, how are we doing on time? Do we need to move on, or do we have more?
Well, you know what? Just one more thing. Go over your products real quick. And then, yeah. I want to know what Maven does as far as products
and the URL and
all that good stuff.
Okay, sure. Right now we're focused on B2B. We are opening up a B2C website. It's Maven, Maven Hemp, MavenHemp.com. Right now, our principal products are bulk. We sell a lot of hemp material. We sell a lot of CBD isolates, different kinds of oil. Like, for instance, we just picked up a very large dog treat manufacturer, and they have different terpene formulations that they're putting into a CO2 oil. And then we have an inhaler, which is really neat, CBD inhaler, and we're working on other products now.
Fantastic.
Coffee, tea, and other things. So it's exciting times, you know. Our main focus right now is working with Israeli partners on increasing bioavailability, and then figuring out how to put that into plain English so people actually understand what that means.
Sure. Well, I love it. Well, we thank you for coming out on January 1st, New Year's Day. Yeah. You know?
Do you have any?
Absolutely.
What's your do you have a New Year's resolution, Zev?
Come on, put them out there, Zev. You know what? Once your mouth opens, it stays out there forever.
Actually, my New Year's resolution is to open a store in Switzerland and a business in Australia.
Wow, nice. Mine's losing 25 pounds. What about you?
Mine is to stop saying "fuck" in the shower.
Is that true?
So actually,
I'm dead serious.
Actually,
really?
Yeah, because Travis. Oh no, that's good. I like that.
Look at you, that's good.
I mean, are you kicking the shower door every time you get in there?
I just in the shower when I starting to load up my day and think about what all's got to be done. I find myself saying "fuck," and then I'm like "fuck it." Fuck that guy. Oh, fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck. And so I figure if I just stop saying that in the shower, then, if I truly put my mind to that, then I either have to override it or I just need to make sure that I take care of those stressors in my life so that I don't feel the need to say it.
Yeah, that's a good New Year's resolution.
I like stuff that's totally within my control.
Yeah.
So that's I agree with that. That's important. So my personal goal is to get back in a race car this year.
Yeah.
But that means that because I'm on a team that does 24-hour racing, and I teach you yahoos how to drive in the snow.
I would like that.
First of all, put steel in your trunk, Travis, not cat litter. You put the cat litter on top. That way, if you get stuck, you have something to put for traction down. But put some steel plates in there. And actually, the tires make all the difference in the world. Honestly, that's anybody listening who's driving around today. It doesn't matter what car you have. I actually drove the Miata last winter because I had a concussion. I didn't know any better, but I put steel in the back and I put real snow tires on it, and I was flying around town no problem at all. So that's my pro driver tip for today. Nice. And if anybody wants to do hot laps with me at High Plains Raceway later in the year,
we got a guy. Stay tuned.
That's right. Yeah. We'll take the wagon out.
Thanks, buddy. You have a fantastic day.
You guys too.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
All right. Let's see if we can get Bryn Gohn on the phone.
Zev is a nice guy.
Yeah, I like Zev a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we can do this. I'll be so impressed. You guys hear that? I'm going to turn that. What is up?
Hey, Brett.
Good. All right.
In the shop. Gotta love
In the
that.
Shop.
And the sun. Gotta love that even more. It's January 1st. Happy New Year, you guys.
Happy New Year.
I'll take care of it a little. There we go. So now, what is up? We've got Bryn Gohn, a dirt track sprint car, wing sprint car racer in Pennsylvania, and his son Kai on the call.
Yeah,
and for those of you who don't know Bryn, he grew up in a racing family. His dad was a dirt track racer and unfortunately died in a wreck when Bryn was 2, I think. And Daryl Gohn at what was it? Williams Grove Speedway. But then your stepdad was a dirt track racer, Kenny Adams, who's a big name in the industry, and he was turning. You start off, as you say, turning wrenches, and won Mechanic of the Year one year, and then didn't you win Rookie of the Year or something like? I don't know.
Yeah, we. I started racing myself in 2005, and so before that season started off, Kenny had kind of set the goal for him to win the championship and me to win Rookie of the Year that year, and it worked out. Kenny ended up winning the championship, and we took home Rookie of the Year.
That's fantastic.
That's so awesome. You've got a
What are you doing?
No, he let everyone know. Boogies.
Hey,
you got to keep those boogies out.
I know.
He'll sit you down. Stop. Real life stuff.
Yeah, that's what we love.
Well, you've got a daughter, Malaya. How old is she now?
She's just over 1.5. She'll be going on 2.
She's been fighting. She has. Well, I don't know why I'm saying it, but would you mind telling us a little bit about what ails her and teach us some about the condition?
Yeah, she has a genetic syndrome called MMIHS, which is megacystic microcolon intestinal hyperperistalsis syndrome. Wow. And so what that basically means is her intestines don't work and her bladder, her urinary system doesn't work well enough to void on its own. So she has a central line, which is a line that goes straight into one of her main arteries and down right into her heart, and it feeds her. Hold on, buddy. I'm gonna sit you down quick, okay? And it feeds her nutrition intravenously right straight into her heart. And then we have to catheterize her every 3 to 4 hours to get all the urine out of her bladder, because we had like a natural birth at home birth, just like we did with my son Kai. And leading up to it, everything was perfectly normal and okay. So there was no assumptions that anything was going to go wrong. And when my wife's water broke and the midwives arrived, everything was still going normal. Heart rates were fine. But once Malaya's head was birthed, then everything started going downhill, and the midwives were fighting to get the rest of her body out and like tugging on her. I mean, it was pretty crazy seeing all the hoops they were jumping through trying to get her out. And she ended up suffocating through that process and going into cardiac arrest. And when the midwives finally pulled her body out, her midsection was so distended, or whatever they call it, so enlarged, that it was then pretty obvious why the birthing process was so difficult. And apparently sometime after 20 weeks is when all of this stuff starts developing. And when you have a natural birth, they kind of stop getting ultrasounds at 20 weeks. And so that's why none of this showed up on our radar, and other families who went through like conventional birthing processes, went to the hospital and had routine ultrasounds, were able to figure this out. And I don't know, I mean, thank God I didn't finish the story. She was in cardiac arrest, and the midwives, before she was even fully birthed, the midwife had called for 911. So by the time they got her out, it wasn't much after that the EMTs arrived, and I had gone to the hospital with her, and the EMTs worked on her the whole way to the hospital. And then it was shortly after we got to the hospital, they got her breathing and her heart pumping again. And then it was a long road to recovery, but thankfully everything, she's good now. But her genetic syndrome is the sum of it is that it hinders the smooth muscle function of the body. So even like her pupils, which not all the kids with this syndrome have all the symptoms, but like Malaya's pupils won't dilate because that's a smooth muscle. And same, her intestines don't have any motility, and her bladder, because in the womb wasn't able to void any urine, it just like expands and expands and expands. So the way the urologist puts it is it's a big floppy bladder, and because the smooth muscles don't work, it doesn't have the wall strength to compress and void the urine on its own. Now, as the kids get older and they can flex their ab muscles to void urine, they start to figure out how to void the majority of the urine on their own by doing that, by flexing their ab muscles.
That's fantastic news right there.
Yeah, exactly.
For her,
Absolutely.
Is there any kind of corrective surgery, or it's just you got to wait and see what happens?
Yeah, because it's such a rare syndrome and situation. So far, we came in just at the right time. I mean, it seems like everything before us was quite a roller coaster of learning curves. And it just seemed like Malaya was born just at the right time, where we've had plenty of ups and downs and spent plenty of time in and out of the hospital. But for the most part, it's been a cakewalk compared to other family stories. And so basically, you're TPN dependent, or these kids are TPN dependent. And there's the only corrective surgery is a small bowel transplant. And the only time they push for that is when the liver starts failing because of the TPN. If you get TPN on a regular basis, the traditional lipids that they use start to cause liver failure. And thankfully, like you said about coming in, or Malaya being born just at the right time, she had to be on traditional lipids. I forget how long. My wife memorized all that, but she was on it long enough to start liver failure. And so then finally the FDA would approve her to use another lipid from a German company called Maven. And that wasn't an FDA approved lipid, but it was proven to repair and sustain the liver. And so once you get liver failure, then apparently you get the green flag to use something that's going to save your life.
Sure.
Kind of ass backwards, but it is the way it is. So she got bad enough to finally get approved for a Maven. And then once a Maven had finally completely restored and repaired her liver, another lipid came out that was called SMOF, which a Maven used fish oils. And the SMOF uses coconut oil, fish oil. There's two or three other oils in there, and it's actually FDA approved, but it was only FDA approved for adults. So I think Malaya was one of the first children through Hershey to start using that. But that the same as a Maven has completely sustained her liver, and there's no negative effects from the long-term TPN, which before the traditional stuff would cause liver failure.
So are you out of Hershey, Pennsylvania?
No, I'm in York, Pennsylvania. Okay. It takes us about 45 minutes to get to Hershey.
Okay. The Andretti's were out of Hershey. They were out of somewhere there, weren't they, in Pennsylvania?
I'm not sure.
Mario Andretti. Oh, could be wrong.
I don't know. You've got one of the cool things about Bryn is, so we've sponsored a couple of different race cars, and a mutual Facebook friend connected me with Bryn because he's been running hemp logos on his Winged Sprint Cup car. I've got Winged Sprint car for years now, and so like Hempsels, and you've got I wish I had more photos pulled up here.
Yeah, I see. But
could you tell us a little bit about what you've done for it? Promoting hemp using your platform as a race car driver.
Yeah, absolutely. I moved back up to Pennsylvania in 2009. I was originally born here, and then we moved to Florida, and I grew up in Florida. And when we raced all over the Southeast, and when my stepdad retired from racing, I knew that I wouldn't be able to afford traveling all over the Southeast, and in Florida, there's not very many places to race a wing sprint car. So I decided to come back to central Pennsylvania because that's the mecca for sprint car racing in the country. And so shortly after moving back up here and trying to get sponsors and trying to help fund the deal, between that not being able to get any sponsors and having a blank car, and then I got really, really, really fat. My whole life, I don't think I ever got over 190 pounds when I was living in Florida. But after I moved up here in central Pennsylvania, is known as the snack capital of the world, I think I got up to 225 or something.
That's what
like
I'm
that.
at right now. I've got to lose. Yeah.
So I started doing some research on how to lose weight, and I was into history stuff as it was. So anyways, through the history things that I was reading into, and then when I started looking into losing weight, I kept stumbling across hemp. And so after stumbling across enough stuff, that's when I started eating hemp seeds and got real passionate about hemp and promoting hemp. And I decided, well, I'll just use my race car as the vehicle to promote this stuff since I don't have any sponsors. And so I just like Hempsels is a local company. They make hemp pretzels, and now they have hemp peanut butter, and they have hemp butter. I mean, they have all kinds of different hemp products now. But I got in touch with companies like that because I knew I couldn't just like put a hemp plant on the car. I at least needed to be associated with some companies, so I could promote actual products.
Sure.
And so I found some local companies to partner with, and just wanted to make a big deal about hemp with the race car. And it, like, I don't know, some people had some negative things to say. Oh, you'll never get sponsors. Nobody's going to take you seriously now, yada, 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 all that good stuff. But surprisingly enough, I would say with the majority, we got a lot of support and a lot of respect out of people, especially the way we were promoting it. We're not, posting videos of us taking bong rips and saying, yeah, hemp or anything like that. We're going about it in a socially responsible manner, I guess you could say. And I don't know, from reading the benefits of hemp and then experiencing the benefits of consuming hemp, it was like a calling almost to promote it, you know what I mean? To raise awareness about it and get it out there to people.
I love that.
And you're just a great spokesman for the cause. It's really cool. That. What's the name of the water company that?
Oh, Just for Life Products.
Just for, like, the number 4?
Yes.
Life products.
Yeah, they make awesome products. And now I guess with the Farm Bill, I guess the water's probably going to go by the wayside, but they still have. He came out with drops that you can put in waters or drinks or anything, a soup, whatever you want. And all his stuff is nano encapsulated. And the last guy I heard talking about bioavailability, and that's Jeff with Just for Life Products. That's his big thing, is bioavailability.
Yeah.
Right.
And making sure that your body's absorbing as much as possible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You got what's your New Year's resolution? Do you have one?
Excuse me?
Do you have a New Year's resolution?
No, I just strive every day to manifest.
You got a little race car driver, future one.
My New Year's resolution is to fix that aerial now. No, I just every day strive towards manifesting my visions. I mean, unfortunately, my visions are so big that they take forever to manifest, and I seem like I'm always walking through the valley of the shadow of death. But I know eventually it'll all come through.
We need to manifest, Bryn, some more sponsors.
Yes, we do.
From this
do you have a
Colorado hemp industry
absolutely.
Sponsors?
Do you have a race schedule coming up that you can send us?
We don't have one in concrete. We're still trying to figure out what we want to do because we have a 360 engine. My goal was to go 410 racing because that would open up a lot more opportunities for us to race more often and put us in more of the limelight, which would be better for promoting hemp. But even if we go 360 racing, we can still put together about 15 races to tackle.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the 360 division hasn't put out their schedule. They won't have it out for another 2 weeks. Some of the 410 tracks have their schedules out, but they're weekly, so you can go there any weekend you want.
I would love to go see some dirt tracking.
Yeah, come on out
and try it myself.
Let's see Panacea on that wing.
Absolutely.
We need to get some more sponsors.
Well, time's right now. That's why I asked for the
Pennsylvania's
schedule.
an important state to fight for as well. There's a
lot of
help build out
here.
this industry in Pennsylvania. That'll be nothing but good for the industry and for the country.
Agree.
Absolutely.
But well, Bryn, we'll let you go. Get back to repairing whatever guy just broke.
Exactly. I'm holding on to the air hose now because he tried doing it.
I love
Check
it.
it out.
So I latched onto it. Nice.
Bryn Gohn Racing T-shirt.
That's what's up.
It's
And where can you buy those?
Yeah, where can you buy it?
You can just message us on Facebook. We're constantly posting. Message us on Facebook, and we'll make the arrangements. Basically, just through my PayPal, and we'll ship them out to you.
Awesome.
Nice.
And hopefully, here in the future, we'll get some hemp race car parts, because when I stumbled across hemp, that was another one of my goals. I saw a lot of opportunities for hemp-based products to be used in all kinds of manufacturing, but most importantly, motorsports, because that's near and dear to my heart. Sprint car racing, at least.
Yeah. So he'll replace let me turn that image back on, like the sheet metal on the car.
Wings, everything.
Well, unfortunately, we can't replace the wings. In the rules, they call for those to be made out of aluminum. But there's carbon fiber wing caps along the leading edge that help protect it from damage that could be made out of hemp. All of the yellow hood assembly there in front of me underneath the wings, that's all fiberglass. And nowadays, a lot of people are having them made out of carbon fiber. And so hemp fiber can compete with carbon fiber as far as strength and durability. And so we're in the process now of having some parts made, and we'll see how they come out. Maybe we'll get to test them this year and start running our mouth about hemp for race cars.
Love
That's
it.
right.
Well, we're going to help you. That's one of our New Year's resolutions. Let's get them some sponsors.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
It's strong advocate for the cause and great guy. So
I love it.
Well, Bryn, have a happy New Year, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Hey, the same to you too as well. Nice meeting you, Michael.
Definitely. You take care. Prayers for your family, 2019, and your daughter especially. If there's anything that we can ever help, let us know. Okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a beautiful day and a great year.
Thanks, Bryn.
Yeah, you too.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Man, he's
what a great guy.
He is a cool dude.
Yeah, definitely. Family man. Just living through the unfortunate thing with his daughter and handling it well. I love that,
And he's a good race car driver.
Yeah. Can you find him on YouTube?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We've posted a lot of stuff on the Veedverks Racing Facebook page.
I've got to go to that. I don't know.
We're going to do some racing
stuff
stuff this year. It's going to be I can't say it's a resolution. It's the plan for this year is to do a lot of racing stuff. But since it's not the type of thing that I have absolute control over, then it's not really what I want to make a resolution about. But yeah, like solving the Rubik's Cube. I think I'm not going to do it this year. One of these years, my resolution is going to be to learn how to read music. That's something that I can just set out to do.
You play really well. How do you just ear it?
Ear it.
Really?
I earball it.
Earballing it. I love that. I know my New Year's resolution is really hefty, but I'm freaking hefty. I haven't been this hefty.
25 pounds.
Yeah, I have to. I really do. Whatever I'm at right now, I'm probably 215, 220. I want to get down to 185. So it starts today. And, I'm not going to do anything crazy and be a triathlon like Zev or anything like that. I'm just going to eat better and exercise because I don't exercise. So I think if I eat better and exercise some every day, it will help.
Yeah. park farther away from the grocery store and get in all those extra steps.
I used to do that. Gosh. I mean,
I do it still.
Yeah, I need to.
Make myself walk around. Being in this place has helped versus when I used to just sit in a chair all day.
Mm-hmm.
And here, we're climbing all around, and it's just a bigger space. It move a lot during the day.
Yeah. I know it's kind of a cop-out, but I'm telling you, just growing up and living in Florida all of my life almost, you can start exercising, doing whatever whenever you want. And I know it's a cop-out, but I can't imagine going outside and walking 5 miles in that.
Today?
Yeah,
it's cold.
Or
cold.
anytime in the last week, when it's in the low digits of 20, 30, it's tough. It really is. So and then people say go to the gym. I hate gyms.
I hate
gyms. I think everyone I ever joined lasted, I don't know, a month or two, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just never.
I'm not a gym guy.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I thought I had something clever to say. Oh, I know. Next week, who's our guest?
Oh, Bobby Sheena with Incredibles.
Did you hear that?
Did you hear it? We are so happy about that.
I thought you said it was Eskino.
I don't. Eskino.
Eskino.
Bob, what is it?
We'll find
Call
out.
us in right now.
Out straight from the source next week. But that's
in studio too.
That is awesome. That's cool. I'm going to clean this place.
I said it's spotless. Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna wax that floor up front just because of that.
Bob's great.
Yeah.
He's one of the founding members of our industry, our fathers of our industry. Yeah. And there's a lot of edible companies out there. The gummies, I like Wana. Uh-huh. Okay. Chocolate bars, no one competes with Incredibles. There's a
monkey
couple
bars.
Oh my God. That actually the strawberry one.
Boulder Crunch.
Boulder Crunch I get all the time, the strawberry one. I used to go to Lightshade all the time because it's on the way home. Yeah. And now I go to Native Roots because for some reason, and if you're listening to Lightshade, you've lost my business because you're not carrying Incredibles brand. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So I just go to Native Roots. I usually get the Boulder bar and the strawberry one. Nice. And and a weekend of just relaxation, which I've got to change that. We got to come up with something hemp driven or derived or THC derived that can actually lose weight. A weight loss product,
with hemp,
with something, just something in our industry.
But I'm sure people are making it somewhere.
Yeah, they're trying.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to take out of at least marijuana, the THC part, I don't know, the cannabinoid or whatever that actually makes you hungry, Yeah. Because it does, I mean, the right pot can make me forage all day long. Yeah. It just can. It's just bad. So, one day they'll have something like that.
It'll be like a THCV product of some sort, maybe. Yeah.
So, any other New Year's resolutions? Or no?
No, I have business objectives, but my only real resolution. I also want to get Rocksmith hooked up on my son's Xbox at home. It's a video game. It's like Guitar Hero. Yeah. It's like that, except you play a real guitar. And so I'm going to try to get it working. It's more complicated than simply because it involves a guitar and there's but if I can get that working, then maybe he'll start playing guitar when he's
how old is he
youngster, 12.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
If I would have started when I was 12, and he can read music, So I mean, like, dude, go for it. Let's.
I love that.
You could be a little rock star.
Daddy would be happy.
I'd be happy for him for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, I'm just gonna stop saying "fuck" in the shower.
Yeah,
I'm gonna replace it.
Get healthier
with some other word.
I don't
want to replace it with another word. I just want to not say any words in the shower.
Do you say it loud enough where your wife can hear or no?
A couple, every now and then.
Like, there's my husband with Tourette's.
Fuck it.
I love it. That's funny.
Usually it's when I remember that I owe somebody something like
that you didn't send.
That I didn't send.
Yeah.
Like just there's only so many hours in the day, and this industry has gotten it is so fast paced right now. It's just accelerating. It's not.
You never catch up.
Down. No.
Never catch up, which is cool. You know, you just gotta learn how to pace though, and not beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Because it's just an ever evolving industry, and now it's even going to get a lot worse. Better, but worse.
Yeah.
Better that it's going to blow up. But yeah, that's just more that, will be on our plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm looking forward to. We're going to have a great 2019 for our show, our podcast.
Nice.
Bob starts off on the 8th. We're going to start advertising our guests up until the next 2 months. We've got some other programs coming on. And it's going to be a fun 2019. A lot of changes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I think it'll be better than 2018. Man, that was... a rough year.
Yeah, a little struggle. Absolutely.
Was just full of drama and but I think that 2019 really is exciting.
Yeah.
And we'll have new challenges for sure, but I think that I think we'll get through them, and I think that we'll continue to move forward in freeing the plant.
Yep. From the Canna family.
From the Canna fam.
Yeah, Canna family.
Cool.
Great
Thanks.
show.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Sorry I didn't shout out anybody. I was not paying enough attention. But you know what? Who got up and did a live broadcast?
I know, New Year's Day.
Right?
I was talking.
I'm not going to apologize.
I was talking to some friends. It's like, Michael, I'm going to be trashed at 10:30 in the morning from the night before, or I'm going to be sleeping. So, yeah. Wake up, you guys. Come on. Yeah. 2019. For me, it starts tomorrow. I'll be in the office, and looking forward to getting things going.
Outstanding. Cool. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bob Eschino or Eschino from Incredibles.
Eschino.
Yeah. Eschino.
Yeah. Next week. Take care, guys.